I would never have ever thought that we're going to be quoting Marjorie Taylor Greene here, but we are. And I'll tell you why. Look at what she put up here that actually makes a ton of sense. And this country needs a second Revolutionary War. 2 recent decisions made by the State Department both involve kids, she says, on a Twitter post made on August 19th. We need to be the America that allows war-torn children to come here for life-saving surgery. And we need to be the America that never releases a foreign child sex predator that our great LEOs caught. But in this circumstance, the war-torn children are from Gaza, and the foreign child sex predator is from Israel and works directly for Netanyahu. So let me guess, would it be anti-Semitic to drag Netanyahu's cyber executive director back and prosecute this POS to the full extent of the law, and at the same time let Palestinian kids who had their limbs and bodies blown apart receive surgery in America? I'm not saying bring in refugees or use tax dollars, not at all. But when did America's heart grow so cold to refuse innocent children privately funded surgeries and then return them home after they recover? Wouldn't we allow Israeli children, if they were the ones needing surgery, or war-torn children from any other country? And the most concerning question is, when and how did America become so subservient to Israel that we immediately release a child sex predator after arrest with a 100% locked up case with evidence and let him fly back home to Israel? Would we do that with a Mexican child sex predator, Chinese child sex predator, any other country's child sex predator? The U.S. State Department says, we are aware that Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges relating to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. That's the State Department's official. However, it's too late. We know it's false. Yes, reports confirm that the Trump administration intervened at Israel's request to release Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, who was arrested in a U.S. child predator sting, allowing his swift return despite felony charges. Broader patterns exist. Since 2014, 60 accused U.S. sex offenders have fled to Israel via law of return, evading prosecution, with community aid and delayed extraditions. Examples: Micah Lafer, Jimmy Caro. Israel has extradited some, but patterns of refuge persist. This administration, another commenter is saying, has been so disappointing, owned by Israel. We can't even convict a freak rapist. Shame on us, says another commentator. Who is this? Another ex-MAGA person. Because, you know, they all realized it was a scam. And now that he got his second term, he doesn't care. Clearly, he's decided he's not going for a third term. So he just let it all unravel. I have now confirmed with officers involved in the sting that the Trump administration personally intervened at Israel's request to override U.S. law enforcement to make sure that Alexandrovich got back to Israel quickly and safely. If a Mexican kid literally steals an apple, these people want to put up a wall, right? The officers told me they couldn't believe it. They had worked for weeks with the FBI. I mean, think about the officers and what they're going home to say to people and to their community. We worked for weeks with the FBI, Homeland Security, Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force to run this sting. We caught the guy red-handed, booked him, charged him, logged him into Henderson County's system like every other suspect. And then, despite the Trump administration itself authorizing the sting, Trump's own team stepped in and blew up all of our work, and they expedited his return and released it. The predator was caught, and then, to protect Netanyahu, he was freed. All right, you're going to tell me this is not going to fuel in people the need for a second Revolutionary War. But this Revolutionary War is more like having cancer, whereas the first Revolutionary War was just like, dad is a bit oppressive. He added a 2% tax, kicked off a revolution. Okay. But here, how are you going to get this job done? It can be done. Anything can be done if you put your mind to it. But it's on the inside. It's infested every single organ of the nation. Every single organ of the country. Every single institution and industry is infested by a group of people who put the well-being of their tribe over everything else. When the Quran speaks of Yahud, it speaks about them because of their beliefs, not because of their ethnicity, because it's both. It's an ethnicity or a bloodline, alleged bloodline today, because they're Israeli. A study by a professor, he is the one who said, we're all Khazars, and they had a mass conversion. But nonetheless, it's an ethnicity and it's a belief system. So to separate the two, we usually say Zionist to indicate this iteration of their beliefs. It's the belief system that's a problem. Because there are a lot of people who are Jews that they don't have these blameworthy beliefs. And the beliefs, the Quran put it very simply. لَيْسَ عَلَيْنَا فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ سَبِيلٌ. We owe nothing to Gentiles. We owe nothing to people outside our tribe. Justice does not apply for them. They even believe, according to the Talmud, that it's permitted to rape, at least to rape one person. If you're a Jewish civilian, if you're a soldier, no limit on Gentiles you can rape. And that's why there was another report also that Thai workers there, 100% of them have been raped. Another commentator, or also former MAGA, is saying it's always Israel first. 2 amputee kids get medical visas and you raise hell. But Israeli pedophiles trafficking American kids and you act like there's nothing you can do about it. Are we dumb? It's all over the place. I mean, The Independent says, Israel becoming a safe haven for pedophiles. CBS Morning, how Jewish American pedophiles hide in Israel. The Times of Israel, many accused Jewish pedophiles flee to Israel. All right, Jerusalem Post, Israel is trying to legalize pedophilia, says Avi Maus. Israel is the promised land for pedophiles. This is the Jerusalem Post. Yeah, and it's straight out of the horse's mouth. Hollywood director, latest sexual predator to find refuge in Israel because of the law of return. Plus 61J Media, never heard of it, for Australian, Israel, and Jewish media. Emmanuel, the town in Israel where pedophiles find safe haven. Israel needs to end the party of abuse, becoming a safe haven for pedophiles. The Jerusalem Post again, Israel needs to stop being a haven for sex crimes. All right, so what is Tom Alexandrovich? He's executive director at Israel National Cyber Directorate. He's a top guy there in heading the country of Israel's National Cyber Unit. So I'm telling you, if they're not going to initiate a second revolutionary war, just pack it up for the whole nation, right? Just say that we're basically a colony. Usually the colony should be a small little country, and the colonizing country should be the big one. In Islam, you have these verses of the Quran which are praising Ahlul Kitab for believing and doing good. It also has other praiseworthy qualities that don't relate to religion, such as honesty. Some of them you can't trust. Others are honest. So the Quran does not define the Yahudi as solely on his lineage. That would be oppression. That would be racism. It's defined by the belief.